Time now for the Media Insider with Herald Editor at Large Shayne Currie. Shayne, I mentioned just before the break the Air New Zealand safety video. This is always slightly controversial. Is this the end of that video?
Well, I think it's a timely moment to sort of consider. They've had now 23 safety videos in the last 15 years. That's quite a number. That's obviously more than one a year. But they've grounded the latest one just through a bit of a cost crunch happening for the airline at the moment. The forward bookings not looking so great for the first half of 2026. So they've decided that as part of their cost-saving measures, they'll just delay the latest flight safety video.
Why don't they just make it with AI?
Well, that's actually, Nadine, what they were looking at. They had an agency and they've been doing a lot of prep work on it, and the chatter in the industry, in the ad industry, was that this one would be actually very AI-oriented. So whether or not that's played a factor in their decision making as well, I do know they've got a big new brand ad coming out next week from a different creative agency. I've had a sneak peek of it. It's pretty impressive. It's back to kind of an old school way of advertising. It's got the feels going, so look forward to that one early next week. But the flight safety ad video, certainly a lot of debate over the years of which are the best and the worst. We've got a poll running this morning on just which ones our readers prefer, and the Men in Black ad from, I don't know if you remember it, from 2015.
That was really good.
Ahead of the Rugby World Cup, Israel Dag and a couple of the other big names.
Richard Simmons was a pretty good one.
That was another one, yeah.
A few hip thrusts in there.
Betty White. Paul Henry actually made an appearance in the Simmons one as well. So yeah, it's been good to look back on some of them. Some of, as I say, hits and misses across the last 15, 16 years. And the latest one, not there. Yeah,
sometimes they can be painful, but they're still a uniquely New Zealand thing, so I'm kind of in favour of it. Big shake-up apparently coming to Radio New Zealand's board. Yeah, what are we likely to see there?
Yeah, Radio New Zealand's had an interesting year in terms of a lot of scrutiny on their traditional radio listenership. They're going incredibly well in the digital space with their website, and their audiences are at a record high. So doing well in that area, but a lot of scrutiny on both the board and the executive for just around what they're doing in the audio space. And they've made changes there already, and they're seeing an uptick already with the likes of the latest ratings period. But the upshot of all of it is, Nadine, that Treasury have issued a couple of reports in the last 6 months. They're not happy with the financial performance of RNZ, and they're not happy also about some of the communication between RNZ and the shareholding ministers. 3 major directors are coming up for renewal next year, including the chair. And I suspect, and as I've reported this morning, according to my sources, we'll see a change at the very top, that these 3 directors, who have each been there for at least 2 tenures, 2 periods, will go, and we'll see likely the coalition government bringing in, I guess, what you could call their own people, because these 3 were all appointed under the previous Labor administration.
I'm interested in the stoush between the NBR and the IRD. What's the latest there?
Well, it's ramping up, and of course a lot of the media organisations in New Zealand now have paywalls. NBR was one of the very first to introduce a paywall for its business content, and so it survives on a subscription-based model. And it's saying that NBR, through its now one subscription, has been sharing its articles too widely amongst 600 staff, and accusing the IRD of basically breaching copyright. So they're at a standoff. NBR's demanded $36,000. IRD has actually apologised and said, yes, we did on occasion share these stories and we shouldn't have. It's offered $12,500. I mean, this is probably minuscule sums in the scheme of things, but actually NBR is saying, no, we'll see you in court. They're ramping things up.
And in our own newsroom here, some fairly big news, Simon Wilson leaving.
Yeah, there's been a lot of change amongst newsrooms in the last 2 or 3 years. Simon's retiring, Simon Wilson, long-time writer and columnist, very respected member of the media industry. He'll still write a column, a weekly column for The Listener, which will appear on nzherald.co.nz, but as of next week, he's retiring the pen full-time.
Yeah, and a loss particularly for local democracy, right?
Yeah.
He does some great work there.
That's right. I mean, Simon's dedicated his most recent kind of efforts covering Auckland Council in particular, and he's had some memorable run-ins or encounters, I guess you could say, with Wayne Brown. So perhaps Wayne might be the first to congratulate him for his retirement.
I think a few beers and a bunch of flowers maybe from Wayne Brown. Thank you, Shayne. That is Shayne Currie.